Well, watching the match also in Sortia at the team's headquarters are the England players. Amongst them, Brian Robson, with the very good news that Brian is fit to play in the opening game against Portugal tomorrow. Brian, what was the lads' overall impression of the first half of that game between Poland and Morocco?
Well, we're just sitting watching here, and the lads have been quite impressed with Morocco, the way they started. We've looked, and the ball skills are very good from them, but we just think that at the back, you look as if you can get round the back of them, you know, and if you get crosses in, you could cause them a few problems. But they have done very well.
I think you were referring in the first half there to something to do with the pitch, relating it to the pitch that we're playing on tomorrow. What was the point you were making?
What the lads were saying is that we trained yesterday on the pitch, and the grass is very thick and it's long as well, and it looks as if it's exactly the same in the Poland-Morocco game. Yes. Looks as if the grass is very long, and your feet go right under the grass and you just get tangled up a bit, and the ball doesn't run very true. And we were just hoping that they'd maybe cut the grass for us. Yes.
Brian, everybody back here is delighted about your fitness report. We're not going to talk about injuries tonight. That's away in the past. Let's hope you get a nice, clean bill of health. Do you feel like your old self and raring to go?
Yes, I'm just looking forward to playing football again. I'm hoping that I can just get through 90 minutes and then everybody will be talking about performances on the field rather than injuries off it.
And Gary Lineker, you also are fit now, of course. Have you got to wear anything special on that wrist of yours, or what?
No, Brian, I've not got to wear the actual plaster cast, but I shall probably be wearing a strap in, just for precautionary reasons.
A great old striker called Brian Clough was very impressed when we reminded him that you were 39 goals this last season. Brian, you...
Did it surprise you, son, you got so many?
Tell Brian it was 40, actually.
40?
Good lad. Well, that's a first sign of a good striker. You always know how many goals you score. Did it surprise you? You got so many?
Well, I think so. I think it went much better than I expected, obviously, but we have so many good players at Everton that they created so many chances, and even though I missed a few, I managed to get quite a high tally.
There's a few not bad ones around you now, never mind Everton.
That's right, and it's a pleasure to play with them all, and we're looking forward to it. And obviously, if we have that bit of luck and we knock the ball in the net regularly, then we should go all the way.
Gary, what's the opinion about the other teams you've watched? You know, Brazil, Italy, Argentina.
Well, it's not looked that open, the football. I don't think too many teams have taken too many chances in the games, except possibly the two games we saw this morning. But it's looked very tight, and people have been afraid to lose. It looks a bit that way, but I'm sure once the games get going into the later stages, there'll be plenty more action and plenty more goals.
Well, Gary and Brian are the only two who can hear what I'm saying and so on. If I can just come back to the skipper for a moment. Brian, you've played so many internationals for your country, and you've captained them as well. As you go into this World Cup, how does the morale tonight compare with the morale of sides and sides you've played with in the past?
I think the morale in more or less every England team that I've played in has been very good, but I think the lads are exceptional here. Everybody's quite confident, we all believe in each other, and we think that we can do very well in this competition.
Well, I'd just like, on behalf of ITV, I'm sure the whole country is rooting for you tomorrow, and all the lads there with a nice big smiles on your faces, I'm sure, by the end of this tournament. Let's hope so at any rate. Thanks very much, lads, for joining us, and the very best of luck to all of you against Portugal tomorrow. Thanks a million.
Good luck, lad.
Thanks very much.
Good. And now we can talk to Peter Shilton and to Glenn Hoddle. Peter, what was the overall feeling about the performances of Morocco and Poland there? As David Pleat in our commentary team was saying, there doesn't seem to be anything great for England to fear.
Well, on that performance, Brian, I think obviously it was a little bit disappointing from Poland's point of view. I think Morocco will be very pleased with the result, and they had a lot of possession, although they didn't really threaten too often. Poland looked a little bit tired, but as you said earlier on in the programme, they tend to come on a bit later on in the competition. So I wouldn't read too much into it, although, you know, it's nice to see that sort of performance.
Yes, I've got your former boss from Nottingham Forest here.
Pete, how do you feel in yourself?
Yeah, I feel great, boss, yeah. Yes, it's, we've had a month's full training, and I feel really sharp at the moment.
Good, because we're always obsessed talking about strikers, but you know my feeling on the #1 position. You've got to be right there. Have you noticed any different in the pace of the ball with shots and crosses or anything like that?
Well, obviously, at altitude, the ball moves a lot quicker, and you've got to adjust slightly. But down here in Monterey, it's more or less at sea level, so it's roughly the same as in England. I think the only problem will be if we have to, which obviously if we get further on in the competition, we have to move back up to altitude. But as long as we have time to adjust, then it shouldn't be too bad.
The encouraging thing that, from my point of view, and from yours as a goalkeeper, has been they've been letting fly from about 10, 15 yards outside the penalty area. So you should have plenty of time to see it.
Well, I hope so, yeah. So it depends if it goes in the top corner.
Don't you worry about things like that.
Peter, if we could have a word with Glenn now. I think Ian is keen just to have a little word with Glenn. You're hearing us, Glenn, are you?
Yes, fine, Brian.
That's good.
But just thinking, Glenn, you know, that, again, tonight, all that space in midfield, I think yourself and Brian there must be looking forward to playing in some of these games with that amount of space.
Yes, we noticed that particularly Poland left a lot of space just in behind their back four, so hopefully we can get in amongst that and cause them a few problems. But there are, as you say, a lot of space in between sort of one defence to the other, but I'm sure we can find space in the right places and we can punish these teams.
And of course, with you having a good shot, you'll be looking to get a few shots in, I'm sure.
Yes, we've worked at that on training. Everybody's, I think most days we've done a lot of finishing, getting used to the balls and the flight of the balls. So we'll be looking to get as many shots in as we can.
The feeling is, Glenn, also that we will probably lift our pace a little bit compared to some of the games we've already seen here, being that sort of our natural type of game.
Yes, I think it's very important that we don't forget what we do at home in England by pressurising teams, but obviously the balance has got to be right. There's times to do that, and then there's times where, because of the altitude and the heat, we've got to play a little bit like continentals. But I'm sure that's another thing we've been working at in training, and I'm sure we'll get it right on the day.
Brian, do you want to put a word to our...
You all right, son, physically, completely now? No problems
Yes.
with you, no niggles?
Feel very fit at the moment, yes. I think the training in Colorado was very good for myself and for the lads. And we've had as many tests as we possibly could have out there. I feel on top form.
Have you had a word with your new gaffer yet?
Yes, we've had a quiet chat, yes. I think
What about?
he actually... Well, he actually gave me an interview, so that was an unusual way to meet him.
Oh, that's not bad.
What have you heard about the Portuguese, Peter?
Well, not a lot. I think that there's only one player that we really know, and that's fellow up front, is it Gomez? But I went there for my holidays last year, that's about as much as I know.
Yeah. Are you fellas getting the press out there? Do you get the papers sent out to you?
Yeah, we're getting quite a few.
Are you?
Quite a few papers, and it's about 4 or 5 days behind, but we're keeping up with the news. Everything's been spot on, really. I mean, it's been 4 weeks, but it's gone very quickly, and all the lads are really looking forward to getting down to the real business.
Well, we're looking forward very much to seeing you in action tomorrow, Peter, and many thanks indeed for joining us again tonight, Glenn and the lads, and good luck tomorrow.